Hey everybody, John David had a 10 out of 10 day. And then the word of the day is MRI, or magnetic resonance imaging, which he will probably be getting here soon because of that second brain bleed back in July. They've been wanting to do one for a while. They've done ultrasounds and CT scans. However, they've been wanting to do an MRI, but since it is magnetic, you cannot do that with metal in, and the pacing wires have been metal, and he just recently got those out this week. And so since he got those out this week, he is now going to be able to go get an MRI. So we'll talk with the team and find out when they want to follow that up and figure it out. But he's had a good night and a great day. Busy day, but great day. He has had fewer apneic episodes where he's stopped breathing for those periods and desaturating on his oxygen levels. And so that's really good news. Seems like it is sedation related. However, they still do happen from time to time, but not as frequently as what they had been. I've been asked by several people today, has he been pooping? So once we got his bowel regimen figured out in the ICU of having him on the lactulose and the Senna and the Colace and kind of figuring out how much it needed to be and how consistent it needed to be, then he's been good. As we've gotten further along and gotten him off more of the sedation, especially things like the morphine, we've been able to come down on some of the bowel regimen. But yes, he has been pooping, and we are very appreciative of him pooping. He's also been peeing, and we're very appreciative of him peeing. Again, never thought we would talk this much about our kids peeing and pooping, or be this happy when we see them pee and poop. But again, this is a different perspective for us, and we are happy that he's peeing and pooping regularly. So today he weaned his methadone, and that's pretty much the only change he had today. He did have speech come by and work on him with like oral stimulation, working with a passy, just working on teething rings. He's not teething yet, she did check, but just working on him being able to get some stimulation around his mouth in preparation for things like possibly bottle feeding, which will not be able to happen until we change out the ND tube for an NG tube, or even solids, which again, same stipulation. He cannot do any kind of feed by mouth until we get that ND tube out and put an NG tube in. Excuse me. But he had a visit from Grammy and Uncle Kyle and Waylon today, and that was a good time. And then, and then also a visit from my friend from college, Kendra, and her little boy, Caleb. And she brought by a little otter. Excuse me, that's actually playing back there now because he just woke up a minute ago, and he really loves it. You'll see that in the video. We also did some floor and tummy time, and he was excited with his new otter and with his first fishing rod that we played with a little bit tonight, some more, and he's just been really a happy baby all day. Been a couple times where we've had to work to get some smiles out of him, but for the most part, he's just been very responsive and very happy, and that has just kind of made my day. Also, if anybody is interested in contributing for a fundraiser for Duke Children's, there is something called Birdies for Babies. They've been doing this is their 9th year doing it, and what you do is you pledge an amount of money, and then every time that the golf team, men's and women's, scores a birdie, then you contribute that much money towards Duke Children's Hospital. And so we would not be here without Duke Children's. They have one of the best pediatric cardiology units in the country, and they are number 1 in North Carolina. So that's just one of their departments. They also have oncology. They have a pediatric intensive care unit. They have a NICU. All of that is encompassed under Duke Children's. So if you have had a family member who's benefited from those, or you just want to help any of those out, please, I'll have the link down below. Please, go on their pledge and help fundraise money for Duke Children's. Also, talking about Duke Children's, John David got featured on their post today where they posted their Heart Warriors, and he was one of the ones. It was from the photography setup that they did a few weeks back, and y'all saw some pictures from it. They took one of those pictures along with, I think, 3 other children and had them on the post, and it was nice to see. But Hunter had a fun day at Miss Anna's, and then he had fun swimming with Mimi, and then y'all know that he's country as can be, which is also something that's been told to me today, and he got himself some bull peanuts, some swamp meat, and some Wild West meat from Pearson Company. And so he was a happy camper this evening. So all in all, everybody had a really good day. And if y'all would pray for these three things: one, that John David will continue to tolerate his wounds and progress forward. One of the things I have been asked multiple times today is when the next surgery is going to be. As of right now, we don't know. It's very fluid, so it's going to be the answer that we don't necessarily like as parents. Specifically, don't like as heart parents, is that it's going to be based on him. But that's just the honest answer. It's going to be based on him. So we don't really have a true timeline. It can be pretty much anywhere from 3 to 6 months from when he had the stent placed. So it could be ranging anywhere from basically October all the way up through like January, February, and maybe even past that, depending on how he's doing. So it's not the answer that I would like to give. It's not the answer that I would like to have. However, it is the honest answer of what I've had with several conversations with medical professionals, such as the ICU team and the surgeons. And so that is our current situation of knowing when the next surgery is. And then if you would please pray for number 2, for all those who've lost loved ones, especially those who've lost children. And then 3, for all of the kids and families who are battling congenital heart defects, because again, this is not an easy road for anybody. And as we have kept up with other heart families throughout the week and just talk to them, and we have a lot of connections that we've made here over the last year or half a year. And again, this is a lifelong monitoring process. Like, this is not, it's not you get a corrective surgery and you're done. You get the corrective surgery, but then you have to monitor that because things can reverse, things can get worse. And so this is a constant process of moving forward, and you kind of have to keep your eye on it all the time. And as parents, and even just other family members, you essentially have to become experts in this to be able to know what to look for in your kids and constantly be vigilant with them. And so again, this is a lifelong journey that we're all on. So if you would pray for those kids, pray for those families, because it is not easy. But that's all I've got for tonight. Hope y'all have a good night and God bless, and y'all continue to choose hope daily. And John David, tell everybody bye bye.